Okay, I was struggling with whether to go to the Matthew next or the Romans, and I think we're going to start with the Matthew. So we're on Pr07 Lectionary 11 for June 21st, 2026. Matthew chapter 10. We start with just the beginning of verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent out after instructing them. So this is a teaching that he's giving to his disciples. And then the actual passage begins with verse 21. I want to back up a couple verses to verse 19. When they deliver you up, remember we had this last week. When they deliver you up, don't be anxious about how or what you will speak, for it shall be given you in that hour what you are to speak. For it's not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father who speaks in you. We looked at this last week, and I just want to draw attention to the fact that Jeremiah was obedient in this. Whatever God wanted him to speak, he spoke. And if he said, nope, I'm not going to do it, the burden was so bad that it caused him physical anguish that was worse than being beaten and put in the stocks overnight. So this passage is about the sending out of the disciples to become missionaries and apostles for Jesus, to tell others about what they were learning and experiencing from walking with Jesus. Each of us also has that call. We are to share what God is doing in our lives, where we experience Christ. We are to share it with someone else, maybe with a lot of people, maybe with just one, maybe with a different one than we have been doing. But each of us as believers in Christ has that call. And we don't have to worry about what we're supposed to say. The Spirit's going to give us that. And Jeremiah kind of proves that. So now into verse 21. Brother will deliver up brother to death, and a father his child will deliver up his father, will deliver up his children, and children will rise up against parents and cause them to be put to death. If you know anything about globalist policy and hope, you know that this is exactly what globalists want. They want people who are in families to rat each other out to some kind of authority that has the ability to tear that family apart and to put to death the people who are saying or doing the things that don't fit with the globalist agenda. This happened all the time during the Biden era. We saw this a lot. And if you have ever read 1984, you know that this is what a lot of the people who are in charge of our world are really hoping will happen. That parents will turn in their own kids and kids will turn in their own parents for adherence to the truth, the actual truth. That's why they twist the truth and have all kinds of goofy wordplay on things. And they are not who they say they are. And so this was Jesus's warning to his disciples. The enemy wants to tear your family apart. And the word, being a disciple of Jesus, is going to cause rifts in your family. It just will. So be ready for that. Verse 22, you will be hated by all on account of my name. Boy, wasn't that true for Jeremiah? This is why the Jeremiah passage is lined up with this passage from Matthew, because they say the same thing. This is the value of the lectionary. It puts different pieces of the Bible together so that we can see that the Bible agrees with itself. That's important for us in order to know that it's true and that it was written by God. You will be hated by all, but the one who has endured to the end, it is he who will be saved. We have to keep going, just like Jeremiah had to keep going. He really wanted to quit. Elijah, as a prophet, told God, nope, I'm done. I'm under this tree. Just make me like my fathers, which is dead. And just like God delivered Jeremiah, just like God delivered Elijah, God also delivers us. For whenever they persecute you in this city, go to the next. For truly I say to you, you should, okay, if things are going really bad for you, it might be time to make a change. You need to submit that to the Lord and not run away from every single, you can't be flighty. You can't just be popping up here and there everywhere, thinking, oh, well, this isn't comfortable for me, so I need to leave, or this isn't comfortable, so I've got to quit this job, or this isn't comfortable, so I'm just going to abandon my family and go to Indonesia and, you can't run. But if you are in obedience to God's will and you are giving the words that he is giving you to speak, and it is clearly not going well, submit that to God and see if maybe he wants you to go to someone else. Remember, previously, if the house is worthy, let your greeting of peace come upon it. But if it's not, let your greeting of peace return, and then shake the dust off your feet. You don't have to keep enduring if you are in a place that God isn't calling you to be. But if he is calling you to be there, then like Jeremiah, you got to stay and know that he's with you. So not every situation, there aren't hard and fast rules about being a disciple. Sometimes it's going to go really well, and you're going to feel really energized in your discipleship and in your ministry. Sometimes it's not going to go very well. That is not an indication in every circumstance that you need to pack up and skedaddle, get to somewhere else. Sometimes you're supposed to stay and endure the pain, but not all the time. So what he's trying to teach his disciples here is things are going to be different at different times for different people in different places. Just stay obedient. Talk to me about it. Listen, I'm going to give you what you're going to need. Just keep walking with me. A disciple is not above his teacher. A slave is not above his master. Keep me, Jesus, in the position of authority. Don't invert the order. Don't get too big for your britches and think that you don't have anything more to learn. Make sure you're walking in obedience. We're skipping verse 25 because I don't want this to be a 30-minute video. Verse 26, don't fear them. There's nothing covered that will not be revealed. There's nothing hidden that won't be known. People are going to come after you. If you're really walking with Christ and doing discipleship, people are going to come for you. And Jesus is saying, don't be afraid. Just like Jeremiah prayed, God, be yourself. Do what you said you're going to do. There will be endless shame for them. They look like they're succeeding now. I just got tortured, whatever it is. It looks really good for the bad people and really bad for the believers, for those who are obedient. And Jesus is saying it's not always going to be like that. Just hold on. Don't fear. And he says that because he knows we're afraid. But hold on. All of that is going to be taken care of. 27. What I tell you in the darkness, speak in the light. What you hear whispered in your ear, proclaim upon the housetops. And boy, didn't Jeremiah show us a great example of that. Whatever God burdens you to say it. So that like Jeremiah, it doesn't burn like a fire in your bones. Even worse than physical torture. Jesus is telling them, I'm going to lead you. I'm going to prompt you. You will know what to say. And if you mess it up and get scared, I will say it again. He teaches us. He leads us. He gives us exactly the words that we're going to need in order to go be his ministers. We don't know how to do this. The disciples didn't know how to do this, and he knows that. He calls us not because we're really good at obedience or at ministry or at mission work, but because he wants to partner with us in spreading his word to the far ends of the earth. So all we have to do is ask him, what do you want? Give me the words. I don't know what to say, but you do. Tell me. I'm ready. I'm obedient. 28. Don't fear those who kill the body, like Pashur, back with Jeremiah, but are unable to kill the soul. Rather, fear him, God, who is able to destroy both body and soul in hell. And this was Jeremiah's prayer. They're going to burn. As bad as Jeremiah felt, he took comfort in knowing that his suffering was going to be minute and just a blip compared to the suffering of the people who were refusing to walk in obedience to God's call to repent. We don't have that fear. This is as close to hell as we are ever going to get. From here on out, everything gets better forever. The sufferings of this present moment are not worth comparing to the glory that's about to be revealed. Hang on. Verse 29, 2 sparrows are sold for a cent, and yet not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. He's saying, you matter. You are valuable. I see you. I know everything about you, and I'm with you. I know everything about you, and I'm still with you. You don't have to worry, be anxious, be afraid. It's going to hurt. It hurt his son. The one who was saying these things, Jesus, he was hurt with even worse physical torture than Jeremiah. It resulted in Jesus' death. He knows what we're enduring, and he calls us to walk that path, and he knows it's going to hurt. And he says, but you are valuable. You are precious. I've got you. Therefore, verse 31, do not fear. You are of more value than many sparrows. Everyone, therefore, who shall confess me before men. Do people know that I'm a Christian? Can they see that there's a difference in me? Does my life confess him? Do my actions and my words point to him? If they do, then he will confess me before the Father who is in heaven. But whoever shall deny me before men, I will also deny him before my Father who is in heaven. We don't get to say, well, I can't minister, Lord. I can't share you. I can't talk about what you're doing in my life because I've just got all this social phobia. I'm just really anxious. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want someone to think that I don't really know what I'm talking about. I might say it wrong. I might offend somebody. God's like, do you love me? Do you belong to me? You don't have to worry about what to say. I'm going to take care of that. What I need you to do is be obedient and stop being afraid, because I am who I am. I know who you are, and I still love you. I'm still present with you. You don't have to be who I am, because I am who I am. So enough with the excuses. Go be my minister. Go be my missionary. Go talk to that person. Go apologize to that person. Go make it right. Go do whatever it is, that you've got the burden in your heart. So that when it comes to us standing in front of the judgment seat, he can say, did you proclaim me before men? And we can say, yeah, I did. And he says, well done, thou good and faithful servant. We don't get to say, yeah, but I've got these special circumstances. See, I don't feel like I'm ready, or I don't feel like I can do it well enough, or I can't do it like that person over there, or, I don't really know enough, or I don't really have enough time, or, all of these excuses that we give for not being obedient to him. He's very, very clear. They're bunk. The work isn't yours, disciples, and so you don't have any excuse. Remember, Spirit is going to give you what you're supposed to say when you're supposed to say it, and it's going to hurt, and some people are going to listen and some people aren't. And if I tell you to move on, then move on. But if I tell you to stay put and keep talking, then keep talking. Just listen. So we have to tune our hearts to Spirit, and that takes a while to calibrate, to be able to hear him and know, is this from the Lord, or is this, I want to jump because I'm really uncomfortable? There's a really big difference. We're going to hop now over to the Romans.